Okay, guys, we are in day 234 in our Bible reading plan, Job 4 through 6 and Psalm 21. And if you like arguing with people, man, you're going to like Job. But it feels like a lot of little bickering back and forth and frustrating at times because some things you're going to read and be like, ah! And today is one of, we're going to just start the trek together. So here's the big idea. When others misunderstand your pain, you can still find refuge in God for your comfort. Not sure what's going on here, but well, there we go. Basically, Job is not going to find any help in his buddies. They're kind of jerks. And so the guy starts off, and there's interspersed verses that you're going to like that the friends say, but we're going to find out at the end of the book, and this is the spoiler alert, that God actually agrees that none of these guys are worth anything. And we'll get there eventually. But Eliphaz is full of moralism, and he's like, it's your sin that's caused you to be in the mess you're in. And we know from chapter 1 that Job was a man who is righteous, and no one's perfect. Of course, we're all sinned, but basically he accuses him and lays into him, and he says things like, but now he goes, your words have upheld him who was stumbling, in verse 4 through 6, but now it has come to you and you are impatient. It touches you and you are dismayed. Is not your fear of God your confidence, and the integrity of your ways your hope? He says, remember who that was innocent ever perished. I wrote next to it, mean. That's mean. The guy's suffering. He's using a pottery to scrape his skin, and this is what he hears. And then I put a big exclamation mark. As I've seen those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. He's like, basically, your sin has got you where you are. And certainly, we all have sinned and suffered a consequence of it. Now, chapter 5, he says something a bit more brilliant. As for me, I would seek God, and to God would I commit my cause, who does great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number. Even the biggest idiots sometimes say wise things. And we see that in a lot of the little speeches that we'll see interspersed in this book. And so he says, blessed is the one whom God reproves in chapter 5, verse 17. Indeed, the psalmist agrees with that as well. Therefore, despise not the discipline of the Almighty. Again, nuggets of truth interspersed, but ultimately a man who misunderstands Job and his pain. So Job replies with sadness, oh, that my vexation were weighed and all my calamity laid in the balances. The guy is broken and he's just being beat up by his friend. Verse 8, oh, that I might have my request and a God would fulfill my hope. And these are words of lament. And how many of us might feel that we might not be going through what Job is going, but we feel this heaviness that God would fulfill our hope, and that it would please, he says that it would please God to crush me. That's his hope, because he feels so bad. He wants to die. And Job just shares his heart. He's open, he's vulnerable. He says, teach me and I will be silent. Make me understand how I have gone astray. And we're going to see him turn to God more and more as his friends disappoint him and say things that are unnecessary. And how many of us understand that we go to others for help and they say things that aren't appropriate sometimes, and sometimes advertently and sometimes inadvertently. But let us understand today, when others misunderstand our pain, we can and do find refuge and comfort in the Lord. So fix your mind on him today, turn to him, and bid your time. God is at work even when you can't see it very clearly. I love you guys, and I'm praying for you.